Alrighty, we are live. Hopefully it sounds good. We're testing out something here where if we podcast, we could use this setup. Something like it.
Something
I don't
like
know.
It, yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to maybe turn off the lamp.
So you're not glowing? There
But
you
I
go.
kind of like glowing.
I do too. The light was good.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go make a post real quick. You all just talk amongst yourselves. See if we get anybody joining.
Yeah, okay.
We've got one person in here. If you got questions, let us know. If we have any live questions, we'll answer those. If not, we will go
to
the comments
there we go.
that were left, and we'll answer some of those. So yeah, just talk amongst yourselves.
Joe's gonna go do something.
What's going on? We'll save this.
It'll
be available for our members to watch.
Where are you going, Joe?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go make a post real quick. Tell everyone what we're doing. That we're live.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we're live, and you can tell we do this often, and we feel super professional doing it. We did take our pop filters off. So
if we're too many
for the regular podcast, we usually have these things, but then you see how that would look like some sort of lame ninja. Yeah, it wouldn't be any good. So I'm hoping that my history of singing live will help me not pop all the time like it just probably did just then.
We'll see.
Yeah. At first, I used to mess with my syllables when we started podcasting because I was so used to doing that. But now that I've had a pop filter,
did you change your THs to Ts?
A little bit, yeah. And then P's almost become B's.
Yes.
So it'd be a pop filter.
You gotta
a pop
round
filter
those off a little bit.
Yeah, but I think I've lost some of those habits. Yeah, so I'm not seeing any comments or anything. I'm assuming those will show up over there. Anybody who is in here, if you don't mind just leaving a comment and just say hi or something, we just want to make sure the comments are rolling in right now. Joe is getting ready to put a post up in the member section to let everybody know that we are in fact live, and we're here to answer some questions and just talk about some stuff with you guys because that's what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's Joe's comment. I was like, hey, we got. Oh wait, no, that's us.
That was me. I just
said, hey. Oh, you did.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
I mean, it was us. It was a collective.
It was a collective.
Hey. Yeah.
It was the company.
Not the chicken.
So we'll give some people some time to get in here.
Hey, Matthew. He's from Sydney. He's awesome.
Oh, is that Matthew who won the shirt? I think it is. Yeah, I think
Matthew can answer that question.
Yeah, Matthew, did you get your shirt? We did a drawing for some YouTube members to win a shirt, and Matthew was one of our winners, and he said he got it. Dope.
Did it get there yet?
Yeah.
What time is it, Matthew? Where you are? What time is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't do math in my head.
I would assume early in the morning.
So as we're just kind of giving some people some time to get in here, let's just kind of give a quick little update of.
Oh, he said his shirt should be here today. That's awesome.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, those none of us wore our Chrome Unboxed shirts today. We're so pro. We're so pro at this.
So ready. Hey, what's up?
Why don't you
what's
grab
up, Ben?
another? Can we zoom in on that?
Yes,
so we can see that better. Yeah, there we go. As long as we stay live, it's fine. That way we don't have to. So that way Robbie doesn't have to do this every single time.
I have it open, so.
What is that? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That looks. So
it's perfect.
Do that again so everyone can see.
What happened?
No.
He was just really close to the camera.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are considering this as our podcasting setup. I don't know.
This was
put together in about 15.
Yeah, so
17 minutes ago.
This is close to our podcasting setup. We're usually turned this direction. Oh, sorry.
See, but we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, same seating position, so we can all sort of talk to each other as we bounce stuff around.
As the podcast is going on, though, normally we all have headphones on.
Yeah.
I brought up that pop filter. We've got these things in front of all of our mics, but we figured for this would be weird.
Yeah. You can just see our eyes.
Very ninja-like.
This is what everyone looks like right now anyway.
But it does help with the P's, see?
Yeah.
It does help with the P's. Yeah, it helps with that.
The weird thing is, the weird thing is, we try to do everything with Chromebooks, and I can't get this out because I just put lotion on my hands. We try to do everything with Chromebooks, but there's this great program out there called Switcher, which is a friend of mine. It's his app that him and his team have made over the years, but it uses all iOS devices. So we would have to go buy some iOS devices to do like a kind of production look where we could cut different cameras and stuff during the podcast, which we still might do. But this is just with the slate. We have found the
Pixel slate.
We have found the
something I like.
The front-facing camera on the slate is literally
it's pretty legit. It and the Pixelbook Go, I think, share the exact same resolution and lens and all that kind of stuff. So both of them look really good.
Look like Leo Laporte. Yeah, we're not quite that level yet, but one day maybe. Who knows?
Quite made it that far.
Leo was like my inspiration for getting into tech when I was younger. So
it would be dope to have like a normal camera down low, and then like you said, like Switcher's the only thing that I could think that would do something like that.
Unless we want to go spend all kinds of money and for that, I just don't think we want to really do that. But I don't know. Let us know, guys. Like, this is something that we've thought about doing just for our YouTube members. Do this sort of setup, maybe clean it up a little bit.
We'll have it actually figured out.
I don't know. We've thought about doing it in the studio, and that the brick and the
it would help.
Corner section.
Well, and we have all our lights in there.
Would look dope. Yeah, and we could just have our main light on, and oh man, that would look cool.
There you go.
That'll be a project.
Thanks for the suggestion, guys.
Yeah, but if you guys think this would be cool, can you zoom in any more on that? I can't see,
so
bro.
William is here from Portland, Oregon,
I've got terrible vision.
MT Biker CP84 from Boston.
Yeah, there we go. Dope. I mean, if you guys like this, if you think it's cool, we can figure out some sort of setup to do for the podcast.
Yeah, because he mentioned Leo Laporte, and that was one of my big things I like watching, because Leo, they all do This Week in Google and all their other stuff. I love the way they record the podcast, and then if you want to just listen to the trimmed version of the podcast, you can, but I like watching the video because you kind of see all the antics and the behind the scenes, because their hour-long podcast is about 3 hours worth of video.
They cut it down,
Yeah, because ours would be somewhat similar to that. I mean, ours gets cut down to an hour to an hour and a half, but from the time we start to the time we actually finish, it's usually 2 to 2.5 hours.
Well, normally there's about 3 or 4 takes that we do to try to get started, because somebody makes some ridiculous noise as I'm trying to press record.
That never happens. If that falls off the end of the table, sorry about that.
It is really close.
I think
we're okay.
I think it's good.
I think the center of gravity is 2 inches.
Yeah, if we disappear, the slate just hit the floor. Sorry.
So I wish we could turn like the camera around and show you the slate on the box at the end of the table.
It's not great.
I love it because it's reminiscent of early Chrome Unboxed days.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
There was a time, a friend of mine, it's actually the guy that recommended I start making YouTube videos in the first place. And he sent me this photo. It's been within the last year he sent that.
Yeah, the pizza box one.
Yeah, so he sent me this photo, and he's like, "Man, you guys have come a long way." And so the office we all used to co-work in is kind of across the downtown area of the town we're in, and there was this small little conference room, and I would do these downward facing shots. So if you see hands-on or whatever video, and there's like a black table, and it's really high up, and the camera's down. That shot was achieved by taking 2 bar stools, like the squarish bar stools, one up and the other flipped on top of the other, upside down, pizza box on top, and then a tablet like this that was in a stand. So if you think about a tablet kind of set back like this, it obviously creates an angle downward of the back facing camera.
Yeah, it was great.
There you go.
Yeah. It was great.
So he came in and got a picture of that whole setup of me doing a video like that, and just said, you guys have come a long way. So this feels a little like that.
This feels basically like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
we got to start somewhere.
Yeah. If you all like this, I think for us, this is something that we would do for our YouTube members, probably exclusively for a while, maybe forever. I don't know. If we really up the production value and wanted to maybe start a separate YouTube channel to put our podcast on, we could do that. Or, I mean, I don't know, maybe it could go on Chrome Unboxed. I don't know. These are all ideas. These are things we could do. Around. If you guys like it, let us know. All right, so we have some people in here. If you all have any questions, let us know. If not, we're going to hop into some of the submitted questions and answer some of those. Gabe, if you go into our channel and then click on community, go to the post that I made, and then look at the questions.
Joe acts like I know my way around YouTube.
Come on. Come on, let's go.
Hey, Ben.
Uh,
Ben's
Joe
here
driving.
from Brighton.
Oh, we've
so
got-
is it 9:00 in Brighton? Is that right? 9 p.m. ish.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
getting on late in the evening.
All right. So
So Matthew, if you're still in here, whenever you get your shirt, you've got. He said, yeah, that's right, that's cool. So yeah, if you get your shirt, make sure to send us a photo. I think you said something about maybe trying to go to. You had maybe an appointment, or you were going to go out to Google. If you do that, please send us a picture. That would be really cool.
So let's see. Oh, you moved
Still
it back,
small.
and I went
It's
one.
still small.
I was fine.
Just
Nat, what are the top features y'all want in Chrome OS?
ooh, I've got one, and it was one of the questions that was submitted. So can I go first
Yeah,
here?
go ahead.
I'm gonna go first. You always talk.
Just drink my coffee.
Yeah,
I found what you told me to find.
you sit over there. You sit over there and drink your coffee. I would love to have multiple account switch, or no, not even switch, because you can do that right now. I want multiple account login and a window, a Chrome instance for different users.
It's coming.
So yeah,
It's in the works.
so I want that. I want it right now, because on the Mac, whenever I'm working over on the Mac there, I'll have my personal stuff pulled up, and I have all my bookmarks, all my autofill stuff. It's all in there, right? It's all kind of in its own little thing. And then over in my work browser that I have open there, I have all that stuff, and I like keeping them separate. And yeah, I know that's something. When is that going to happen? Because I think that was one. Was
the
that one of the
flags there?
The avatar shows up.
It should be in dev now, but I don't.
I remember you guys showed me something and it wasn't working. Yeah.
We need to check and see if we got actually that device is in dev now.
Was that one of the questions? Wasn't there a question about like multiple users or something? What's the best way to manage multiple
what's the best
users?
practice for managing multiple Google accounts on a Chrome? But Robbie and I have a lot of experience with this. There's not a great way to do it right now, unfortunately. You live incognito a little bit sometimes, just to be able, especially when you're messing with stuff like third-party stuff like Dropbox. It's horrible. Like I remember the marketing company we used to work for, we'd get
Nightmare.
folders and stuff shared with us from other companies
accounts.
where they were Dropbox, and you had to go incognito every time because it would try to force you to your main email. So there's not really any great workarounds at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like Matthew's saying, "Hey, look, we where'd it go? Virtual desktops. That's kind of the way my workflow is, and I've just worked that way for a long, long time. So even when I had other work accounts with our old job, and now with Chrome Unboxed, I don't feel the necessity for my Chrome instance specifically to change. So I'm okay with my bookmarks being the same across whatever, and I add those accounts to my, the accounts I need to, and I bounce back and forth with that account switch feature that's kind of in Chrome OS. I think specifically that, and it gets hard to communicate what Joe's looking for, because at first that's what I told him. I was like, yeah, just switch accounts or put this in a different, tab or whatever. It gets difficult when you have setups, and people coming from Windows and Mac are used to this. They're used to setups where your bookmarks, your files and setup and everything in each Chrome browser instance is its own thing. And there's no way around that right now on a Chromebook. You can put two accounts on right now. You can log in two accounts and then do that quick. I think is it Control Alt and the caret. So the period and the comma key, and you can actually just quick switch. That's as close as you get to what Joe's talking about. And it's okay, and I get it. And right now it's because Chrome OS and Chrome are tied together, kind of at the base. That's changing too. We've seen where they're going to separate, and Chrome OS and Chrome won't necessarily have to be the same version anymore, which is going to be awesome, I think, when they do that.
Yeah.
An example, I know this is total, isn't a huge deal, but it's an example. If I take a photo on my phone for a thumbnail or whatever, it's in my personal, obviously, because I'm logged into my personal Gmail on my phone. On the Mac, I can have photos.google already opened over there in that own separate browser, right? And I'll download that photo, and then it's just in my downloads on the computer, and then I can hop over onto Chrome Unboxed and use it for whatever. I know that's I could just share it with myself. There's obviously workarounds to it. It's just one of those little small things. So that's one thing I want. So what's a feature that you guys want?
There's not a whole lot of stuff like right now that I'm like dying
That
for
you, like,
there
want?
to be like, because like virtual desktops forever.
Yeah.
I
Someone
was-
else said something
Dennis
about.
actually said
We'll jump into a little bit about
Say
virtual
more about
desktops
it, yeah.
here in just a second. There you go. Use a Linux desktop.
we made a video.
Nope,
about that.
that's a good one. Nat, yeah, you got me. That's mine. I'm stealing that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Google Photos in the file manager. I've looked for that for so long, and I think I just kind of subconsciously gave up.
Yes. Yeah.
It is there, kind of. You can, if you install Google Photos Android app, and then go to open another Android app, and then open a file picker in that Android app, it will show your photos in there just like it would on your phone. But it's only like Android to
It's
Android.
just not in the.
I don't use a lot of Android apps on my Chromebook.
I normally turn it off.
If anything, I mean, the last week or so has shown us that it seems like some much higher quality desktop ready Chrome OS Android apps are on the way. So if that happens, I'll use Android a lot more. But for right now, I generally don't lean on Android almost at all at this point. I don't think if I turned Android off on my Chromebook, I don't think it would affect my workflow at all at this point. That being said, I really like Gmail on the Duet. Gmail on like the Android app Gmail on the 10-inch Duet is really awesome. Like,
it's fantastic
because you forget how much you love like parsing email in Android. Like being able to just swipe this over and swipe that. I've got swipe that way to delete, swipe this way to archive, and then select a handful of them and do stuff. So I do like that. But I think Google Photos integration in the Files app needs to be a deeper, probably Drive integration.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny part is they just removed the old Drive integration not too long ago. So I don't know how quick they'll be to jump back into that. And I think it could be something they do just for Chromebook users possibly, but I think they need to do it with Drive. They just need to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Like in Drive, there needs to be a link that allows you to view your photos. Like they don't need to copy anything anywhere. Like it just needs to be almost like when you do a shared file in Google Drive. Like if you create a file and fill it with a bunch of stuff and then you share it with me, it's under my shared stuff. But it's your stuff.
Yeah.
It's not copying it to me and then having two copies. It's your stuff. I just can see your stuff because you said I could. It needs to be the same thing. Like in Drive, I need to be able to see my Google Photos shared with me and available. And so that way in the file picker, if I go to Facebook and I'm ready to post a new notification, a new thing,
there.
I just go, and Google Photos is one of the things that I can choose from. And then when they do that, like Google Photos needs to have a better way to be parsed as a file manager. Yeah. Because right now, like even on your Android phones, if you go to select a photo from Google Photos as one that you want to put into something, it's just like your whole random list of stuff. Yeah. Like I need to be able to go, hey, June 21st or whatever.
Or if you could mount it like you can SMB or whatever.
If
you clicked add new,
that's what it needs to do.
What if you couldn't just say,
but Google Photos then has to get better at Google Photos is not a file manager like at all. It's actually pretty bad at being a file manager because it's just like this long laundry list of all your photos. And so they're going to have to do some work on that end too, to make it make sense in a file sort of way. Yeah. I have no idea how that works, but they do much more magical things than that. Yeah. But that's a high priority kind of thing for me. I would love Google Photos. That would change my workflow a lot. Because I have to open photos and download and then upload and all this crap all the time. Oh, and while we're at it, can we get Google Photos image editing just built into Chrome OS too?
Yeah.
Because I upload photos to edit them,
download them,
and then download it back. It's so dumb.
I
get it.
To then re-upload it to the site.
Give me the tools in the file browser. Like they need to make all this new stuff they're doing with the file browser. Yeah. Just needs to somehow integrate the Google Photos tools in it for Chromebooks, and don't be ashamed to do it just for Chromebooks.
Yes, exactly. It's
we're a growing user base. You can do some stuff just for us. Yeah. It's fine.
All right, Gabe, what do you got? What's your top feature that you want?
I live in Linux a lot. I would love to see, with all the changes we've seen in Android lately, because they've really done a lot with the handful of Android apps that have been optimized or designed specifically for Chrome OS. Would love to see some developers actually developing their Linux apps to fine tune them for Chrome OS.
Let's go Steam.
Yeah, but then on the back end of that, have Google create an integrated. We're seeing it with the Play Store right now. They're showing Robbie wrote it. Which was it today or yesterday? The Chromebook apps. It was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So they've got a section in the Play Store on. So I guess it's probably a beta testing thing. Maybe
It's probably A/B
I haven't
testing.
seen it.
Feels like it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G testing.
Yeah,
only
but
A people
they
are
have
getting it.
they have
Nobody else we know has it.
Yeah, so they have a section for apps that work well on Chromebooks. I would love to see Linux apps get rolled into that fold.
Well, it'd be awesome
Oh.
if they just pulled Linux apps into the Play Store.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Just fully
If it
pull
just-
them in the like PWA style.
Yeah, because different Linux distros have different repositories where they pull apps, but this is Debian, and Google has their actual own repository that they're using for this. They could literally just load up the apps that they want to use that they know work well with Chrome OS, and then just port them over to the Play Store. You click on it, it installs, and you don't know if it's Chrome, if it's what, you don't care. It just works,
Right.
just like everything else. So
Yeah. I've got one other, and someone else asked about this in one of the submitted questions. I would love to be able to edit some video on a Chromebook, like without, like locally with Adobe
What
Rush.
happened to Rush? What
Yeah,
happened?
Rush would be very cool. I would love to use that.
Remember
know-
when it got announced, and it's
Oh,
coming
yeah.
to Chromebooks soon.
Remember at CES whenever we had sources that
Oh yeah,
are unnamed
I
that
had it
said,
on my Chromebook
that
on the
said-
plane.
said they were using it, and they were like, "Yeah, it could get launched right now."
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
Nothing.
You're talking about missing the boat right now. I mean,
Well,
goodness gracious.
and it's like the processing power there and the increased RAM that newer Chromebooks are getting is there for some video editing that is not just in the cloud. Like it's leveraging some of the local resources. Maybe like I think that's what Rush would do. It would be an Android app, and you'd be able to edit some video, and not have to upload every single file. I guess it's still technically doing that because then you can hop over to your phone and keep editing. But
Yeah,
it's
but
maybe like partially locally done.
I think
somehow.
maybe they have some ways to to minimize those file sizes or something
Right.
too. I don't really know
Anywho,
honestly what's going on
the
with that.
point is like for the things that we do for our main videos that we put on our channel, it's I mean, the file that I'm working with today, I'm not even probably halfway through my edit, and it's over 100 gigs already.
Yeah, so working with that in the cloud is just kind of silly.
Yeah, so like cloud video editing kind of goes out the window. I think some of this stuff with external GPUs being able to work,
Yeah.
we need to test that because something like that
because we've
with a
installed
super fast external
you know,
SSD, like maybe could we do some kind of more intensive video editing? I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, we've installed Linux editors that are honestly as good as Final Cut, and a lot of people
Mhm.
use them on Linux desktops. But
Did you end up getting DaVinci to run?
DaVinci will not run. Shotcut runs. There's a few others. The problem is that even though we have GPU support now, these GPUs in most of these devices
Mhm.
are embedded in the CPU, and they just don't have the horsepower to run it.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like going and buying a decent Windows,
Yeah.
Ultrabook that has
Yeah.
no GPU
Yeah.
in it and just
Trying to
has
do
the
video editing.
right integrated
It would
graphics.
crash, yeah.
It would take you forever. You
I mean,
wouldn't buy
even-
it with that.
Even our maxed out, MacBook that we have, I think has the. I think
We
at
went
the
with the big-
time, it had the fastest. Has the discrete, graphics card. It had the highest clocked CPU in it, and I think they ended up doing ones with more RAM later. But for the 2016, we had the highest. And this morning, I was getting the little spinning wheel, like.
Right,
It's just huge files and working in 4K and all this stuff. So video editing on a Chromebook would be amazing for little social media videos that we do.
Yep.
It would be great for just little quick stuff that we might do just for like YouTube members or I don't even know what I could use it for because I've never been able to do it. Like
Right.
if it was an option, I know that we would come up with awesome ways to
and
do it
we
on
would-
a Chromebook.
We would do it and try to stretch it out and
Yeah.
see what we could get away with. But
So,
until it's there, can't
that
really
was
do anything.
I guess that's probably my number one feature. That it's not necessarily a Chrome OS feature. It's just getting developers, and I don't know what needs to happen. Rush said it was coming, and then it's not.
Yeah. If
So,
anybody else that wants to jump in, like KineMaster started adding shortcuts, like keyboard shortcuts and
Yeah.
stuff for theirs, but it still very much feels like editing in a phone app on a big screen.
Yeah.
Like
It's
until someone comes in and says, you know what, we're going to take advantage of the screen real estate
Yep.
and keyboard and mouse
in
and really treat this like a desktop app.
Make
We're
it
not,
look
we're
like
not
a
releasing
desktop
something
video
that,
editor.
you know,
Yeah.
that is for phones and desktops. Like,
Yeah.
cool.
It's
We're
a
gonna,
Chromebook. You don't even let it
Here's
be
what we're
installed
talking-
on a phone.
yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
that's what
Exactly what
Krita,
Krita did.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Yeah.
the exact same thing. So
We'll see.
yeah, until that happens, it's gonna be difficult.
So we had we're going to answer a couple of these live questions, then we'll go back to the submitted questions. I know we've kind of bounced around here with some of the submitted questions. Tab grouping. Well, first of all,
yeah, let's go back to the
that we've
virtual
got,
desktops.
We've got tab grouping, and then up above that was virtual desk. So talk about virtual desk, what you do, what your workflow's like, and how
Yeah,
to.
it's-
I don't know. I think who was that submitted that question? They said they couldn't find it, or they don't have it yet.
No, I hadn't had any experience. with it,
Hadn't experienced it yet.
So that's Dennis, and he actually has a couple questions on our community as well. So
yeah, to speak to virtual desk, it was a project that was a year in the making, I think. And it's present on Windows now. It's been present on Mac for a long time, and it's been present on Linux even before that. And the idea is just that you create workspaces, and you can separate those workspaces out. So you can say, like for me, for my workflow, I have my main instance of Chrome, maybe a couple of tabs and a couple of different windows kind of floating around in that kind of main workspace. And then you go up, like if you do a 3-finger swipe up, if you're doing natural scrolling, if you're doing the reverse scrolling, be 3-finger swipe down, or hit your overview button up on the keyboard. Get to there, you can see up in the top right, add new desk, click it, and a new desk will appear. You can add up to 4. And then when you're in an overview mode, you can move stuff between desks. So if you're in desk 1, you go into overview, you can grab a window and move it up to desk 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then with a 4-finger swipe, or it's shift, the search key, and the brackets. So your little curly brackets that are up in the upper right-hand side, you can move. I think that's what it is. Am I right? For a long time there, I was using those because we didn't have the mouse.
this one's not working.
So yeah, so I'm telling you right. So I think it's shift search. Maybe is it just search? Yep.
Yeah, there it is.
So I'm sorry, it's just search. So just the search key, and then those brackets move you left and right through desks. Shift search. Now remember, if you have a window highlighted, it'll move that window to the next adjacent or the next adjacent desktop. But the idea being is that you can kind of group your stuff. So especially it gets really productive with extended monitors. So if, like I've got my big monitor up here, and then my Chromebook down here, and so I'll have some stuff working up here. So like my second screen a lot of times will be like Google Keep, my messaging apps, so WhatsApp, Google Messenger, and then any other kind of that sort of stuff I'll kind of have on desktop 2. And they swipe everything over, and then boom, you've got desktop 3, and I usually have just other stuff on there. So if I've I don't know, like music players, random YouTube stuff, whatever, like entertainment-y type stuff. And so that's just kind of the way that my brain breaks it down. The bigger benefit with virtual desks, and the reason I wanted them the entire time, is that when I'm at home, I don't take my old desktop setup home with me. So on the weekend, if I'm going to write, I'm sitting in front of a 13 or 14-inch screen, and that's it. That's all I've got. Well, I'm used to being in front of this monstrosity I've got on my desk and my second display, and I've got all this space to move things around and have room. And now all of a sudden I'm contained to 13 or 14-inch screen. Well, virtual desks give you the ability to almost feel as if you have 4 monitors. It'd be it's the essential 3 additional monitors to what you have. And so as quick as I can turn my eyes and look over to a second screen, I can swipe with 4 fingers and basically bring that screen into focus. And so that's the way that I treat them. So I'll sit down, open up all 4 of those desks and put the things I need, whether it's, messaging stuff here. If I'm researching an article, I might put some of the research stuff in one of those desks. Or if I'm doing web edits, I'll put my IDE in one of those so that I can bring the desk into focus, look at what I'm looking at, bring that other desk into focus and look at it. So they're highly productive. And it's something I'm so glad that Chrome OS utilizes in a very good form at this point now. It took forever. It felt like it took forever because I was tracking every single second,
And even then when they did come out, they still needed some polishing. That with the latest update, you can actually name those desks, which makes it even more productive because the minute you swipe up, you see, okay, I need this desk. I use it to keep our 2 websites separate. That way I'm not getting stuff mixed up.
And that's a lot of people do that. Like you create a whole desk. I think Matthew had said that. Create a whole desk that has all of those things in it. And so it's almost like swapping over to a different desktop completely. I mean, they're called virtual desks for that reason. So that's the way that I use them. And I know everybody kind of leverages them differently, but they're very, very powerful productivity tools to use. So if you're not using them, definitely check them out. They're well worth your time.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's go through a couple of these other questions here. Where were we? I think we answered all those. Oh, tab grouping. Let's talk about that one for a second. So the whole tab grouping stuff, Gabe, this is, I know, something you've played around with because you're always in the Crazy Canary channel.
That's me. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's another productivity tool. If you don't use virtual desks, or if you have multiple things going on in one space and you need to keep them separated or whatever, you can just group tabs together. I honestly don't use them that much. I probably should, because my desktop gets a little crowded at times. But if you have multiple projects going on and you want to keep your deals and stuff all grouped in one tab, and then all of our Chromium stuff in this tab or whatever, it's a really handy tool. I just
and it color codes them. It puts a line
you can label them
as
well.
Something.
What was the issue with it? Like when we were first talking about it, it wasn't collapsing them all down.
It still doesn't.
It still doesn't.
No, that's not a thing.
That doesn't make sense to me.
A lot of people just have tabs on tabs, tab,
and like you can't visually know.
Yeah,
like
so
you got to search
see,
or whatever.
So you basically outline those in colors, and then they can quickly look and go, okay, that's my this, and that's my. I'm just not that kind of guy. I get 10 tabs open. I start feeling a little anxious.
I close stuff out. I
clear them out. I that's just the way I work, though. So
if you could collapse them, that would be dope, though.
Yeah, so that's coming. So you'll be able to click on the little name thing that you have, and it'll collapse all of them down. So you would have just these color blocks, and you click those, and they open. And so that would be cool too. But yeah, tab groups none of us get into those.
I don't ever have that many.
But I know there are tons of people that just they don't close tabs.
I would imagine if you not only that, if you dealt with data entry and spreadsheets like daily, all day, every day, it would probably be great to keep your data organized.
There's gonna be a lot of people I think it's beneficial for, and that's not just Chromebooks, it's Chrome and Chrome OS both.
Yeah. What was that? What's the question there? That's pretty close. Oh, from Cologne, Germany. That's awesome. I don't know.
Did you go to Cologne?
No, we didn't go to Cologne. I was in Germany just last year. Love it.
So I can't quite read it here. Is it possible to run Chrome OS virtualized on GCP?
Yeah, so Google Cloud Platform. And Matthew kind of did answer that question. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I don't imagine you can run actual Chrome OS. It would probably have to be some sort of Chromium OS or something of that nature, but I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to.
No, I mean, ideally, it'd be Chromium, though. Like Matthew said, it wouldn't necessarily be Chrome OS. I could see them moving to that at some point to have virtualized Chrome OS kind of in the cloud. But
didn't we? GPC's technically built on Chrome OS.
Yeah, that's a fun fact.
GCP,
Google Cloud Platform transitioned a couple years back. Part of the reason I think that Google continues to invest in Chrome OS is that Chromium is what it's all built on. So like all these servers and stuff run that. Google's Wi-Fi routers run a version of Chrome OS. So they're way more heavily invested in Chrome OS than just Chromebooks. So that's a good thing for everybody who likes Chromebooks, because that means I think we're at the point now where we can safely say Google has fully invested themselves into Chromebooks and Chrome OS. We're not like worrying all the time whether or not they're just going to like abandon the whole thing. It's clearly
we were there for a little while.
Oh, sure, yeah. Early on, we weren't quite sure that it was going to be around.
2016, we weren't quite sure.
But yeah, I mean, Gabe and I were talking even this morning, just about the idea that it's cool to know that a few years down the road, I feel like the trajectory of Chromebooks and Chrome OS is getting to the point where, it's not going to just be a random thing that some people go and buy and that some people get excited about, but it's going to be right up there with Windows and Mac OS. As like these are the things that people will walk into Best Buy, and they already do, to go buy a Chromebook, but there's going to be a lot more of that happening. It's just going to be way more mainstream in the coming couple years, because it's really picked up a ton of steam, and it's cool to know that we got to play a part in that. We got to influence some of this stuff, because we've helped people who find the idea of Chrome OS intriguing have an outlet to go check that stuff out. So it's just cool to think that we've gotten to play even a little part in the whole history of this thing that it's not just going to be a fly-by-night thing anymore.
No.
Like
Yeah.
Chrome OS is going to be part of. We grew up knowing like I'm going to get a computer. It's going to be Windows, and then eventually or Mac, and now it's going to be Windows or Mac or a Chromebook.
Yeah.
Like that's just going to be part of the normal ebb and flow of laptops and personal
Well,
computing, and that's really cool.
Nat said here, how tired are y'all of people saying Chrome OS can't do real work? I mean, I think what you're saying there is a testament to how far Chrome OS has come and everything that it can do and how much more mainstream it is now. And I mean, there are people that I mean, a lot of people like us that do all of their work on a Chromebook.
I mean, and
schoolwork and college courses, and I mean, unless you need like most college students, unless you need some specific piece of software for an engineering program or something, you could do basically everything on a Chromebook.
Yeah.
So I think anybody that says that is just ignorant.
Ignorant, not in the.
They're just dumb,
right? Not
Yeah,
in the
they
form-
just
I
lack
was gonna
that
say not
knowledge.
in
Yeah.
the form of dumb or
Yeah.
stupid, but ignorant of like
Yeah, they
you
don't
just haven't-
know.
Yeah. The knowledge hasn't been presented to you in such a way that you understand the ignorance of the statement.
Yeah,
Because-
actually, I had a friend of mine had contacted me a couple of weeks ago that their son was graduating and he's going to school for engineering and was telling me what he was going to need and what he needed in a device. And of course, the school recommends this thing, which is like a $2,400
Dell.
Windows. Yeah, it's like this crazy thing. And I'm like, in all honesty, you could get him a Galaxy Chromebook and it's going to do everything he needs because he didn't need any type of
Flex
specialized
5.
software or any. Flex 5. But I mean, even CAD offers some web apps and things like that. So
yeah, and that's only going to increase. That's only going to continue changing, and part of that's just mentalities having to be changed, realizing that quote unquote real work doesn't require Microsoft Office. Like,
yeah,
and those things are changing, and as the generation that's coming up that uses Chromebooks on a daily basis, like our kids and even kids that are older than that, don't frame doing work on a computing device the way that we do, and they just don't.
Yeah.
And so most of that stuff's going to be out the window pretty soon, and Chromebooks are there to kind of just fall into that slot.
Yeah, and I think to be a silver lining kind of guy, the current state of affairs in our country with the pandemic side, people working at home and school, I think that has accelerated the adoption of Chrome OS, not forcefully, but in a manner of people have gone out looking for devices to do this, and this, and they're like, yes, Chrome OS will do that.
I can do all of that on my Chromebook. Yeah, so, exactly.
Matthew, we hope that you don't have to leave Australia. So that's he said they're really heavily invested. Who do we know? Somebody else in Australia that does Chrome OS stuff. Who is that?
I don't know. I mean, the bridge folks are from there.
No. Well, yeah, Nick. Moriarty. Yeah. Do you work for Moriarty? Not that Moriarty. The other Moriarty. Hey, Michael Perigo's here.
Hey, we know that guy. We know that guy. So, for anyone who is wondering, Faith Drawn Studios is a company by our now colleague, Michael Perigo.
I have a dope hoodie that says Faith Drawn Studios.
And Michael is the one who is heading up Gaming Unboxed. And if you go over there and check out some of the awesome content that he's putting out, that a lot of that is work from Michael. We're trying to contribute when we can, but yeah, hopefully you guys are liking what we're putting out over there. Thanks to Michael. So a couple other quick questions here. So Phil asked, what's your take on the smart home and Google's move in that space? We've talked about this before. I remember not long ago when I didn't have a single like smart thing in my house.
Oh yeah.
And now it's
recent.
It's a big part of my routine. It's a big part of how I think of like my just productivity at home. It's part of that. I schedule a ton of reminders for myself. So as I'm walking around the house doing something, if I think of something that I need to get done or something that I need to do at work, rather than letting that float around in my brain and me probably forget it, which is normally what would have happened in the past, or I would have written down on a piece of paper and stuck it in my pocket and probably forgot about it and washed it, and then it's ruined, and then I got to try to decipher what the ink is that's spilled out on the page because it got wet. Yeah, it's a big thing. It was a big issue.
This is how Joe's brain works.
It was it was a big issue for me. Okay. Now I just tell Google, hey, G, set a reminder to. I hope
Yeah, it
I
didn't
hope
go off.
Max didn't
It's
hear. Hey G, set a reminder to email, so and so tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And it's right there as soon as I get, or I'll do the ones that are like, hey, remind me of this when I get to the office. So as soon as I walk in the door, I get a reminder on my phone, and then I go through and check them off. They're integrated into my calendar, so at the top of my calendar, I can go through there and check off my reminders. But then also just I have a Nest smart thermostat. I don't have any security cameras yet, but I've been thinking about doing that. Especially with the new Ultra that's going to have Nest kind of like built into it, to where I know you've been able to do that before, where you could pull up your Nest cams on your TV, or has that even been a thing?
Yeah,
It's like more integrated now with the new,
the Nest
the
Aware
new
stuff
UI stuff.
Are you talking about Nest Aware?
No, so like the
okay.
new Ultra, that's whatever they're going to
Oh,
call
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more integrated with
I don't have
Nest
enough,
and everything.
I don't have enough first-hand experience to know like what the difference will be.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, like Google is heavily invested in
Yeah.
smart home, and
I think it's less hardware than it is just getting the assistant, because we're seeing more and more assistant devices from other OEMs coming out everywhere, and televisions and sound bars. And what was the thing the other day? They've got that new thing that steams your clothes. It was at CES, but it's actually out now. It's has Google Assistant integration. Just it's all about getting the assistant and Google's
and their whole thing
connected thing.
The helpful home. It's all about just putting things. I've never wanted to feel like the technology is more of a task or is in the way.
Right.
As soon as it gets to that point, I mean, I've done it before with different little gadgets and stuff I've had around the house. The assistant and Google Home and Google Nest are simple. They're there when I need them, and then they're kind of out of the way. And I can even turn it all off if I want to. Don't do that very often, but
Michael, if you're referring to the Home Max, we've had it set up since day one. It is our only speaker we use in the office, because it's still probably the best assistant speaker out there.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Sounds
amazing.
And it sounds great in little rooms. It sounds great in big rooms.
Yeah, if you're a fan of good sound, like it retains bass response at very low volumes, which is very cool. So you don't have to crank it up to hear all the parts of the music you would want to hear. So it's very beneficial as an office speaker, because we can just kind of turn it on. It fills the room up, and it's not like at low volumes you miss out on most of the music. Like you hear this full, nice, rich sound all the time. It's fantastic. We did a video 6 months ago or something, just saying it's still, whatever it costs now, it's still worth it.
And I think you can normally get it for like $100 off.
Yeah, if you're after a great speaker,
I mean,
that's what you're after. Like, there's no reason to buy it if you're like, I could give or take music. I don't care. Like, no, don't go buy this thing.
Yeah.
I haven't heard like a Bose system in a while. But I would put the Max right up there with.
Good example.
Speaker.
I have the Sonos Beam on my television, or behind my television, and it sounds phenomenal. It has the assistant built in and all that, but it has a lot of low end, and in order to get a good balance, you have to turn it up pretty loud, almost uncomfortably loud. You're not going to have a conversation while you're watching something. The Max does balance so much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
It's got those smarts in it, that it has all these beamforming microphones.
Senses the room and
optimizes it. And it's legit. It is legit.
So, MTB biker, I guess you're a mountain biker. I just got into mountain biking. We are friends. Can we be friends now? MTB biker asks, how are you guys liking your Pixel Buds? Robbie. I use them with my Pixelbook Go. And sometimes there is some latency. Wish it worked smoother and linked up better. What's your experience? I'm going to go first because mine's more positive, I think, than what Robbie's going to say.
I'll go second, and then we can finish off with the low.
Yeah, so I've been using them daily for about 2 weeks now. There is definitely latency when you're watching videos on your phone. There's latency for sure whenever I pair it up with a Chromebook or my Mac. There's gaming latency for sure. But for me, the overall convenience of being able to go out on a walk, pop them in, the charge, the case charge is great. I've only charged them once, as compared to my Jaybirds, which I had to charge every other day if I were to use them every day, like I've been using the Pixel Buds. Having the assistant built in and they're fairly comfortable now. That they did ache my ear a little bit. I did notice yesterday I had on my mask, and I guess my mask was just pulling my ear ever so slightly. Dude, I was in Lowe's and I had to like take them out. I was like, I can't even wear these right now. It hurts so bad. But other than that, they are comfortable. Like if I'm just wearing them normally without my mask on, like I go out, I play a lot of disc golf, so I wear them for 2 hours playing disc golf. Great. And I think just the overall package of the convenience of them, they sound good enough.
Yeah.
They're not amazing. And having the assistant and being able to just pop them in, say, hey G, or I don't even have to say hey G, just hold your finger on it, play the latest episode of Marketplace or whatever, play whatever song. Like, I don't know, it's just cool. I just like it.
You have to defend it. It's
Robbie, I like them, okay? I like them. Get off my back.
Yeah, I do like mine. I will say my wife has used them way more than I have. She usually keeps one in while she's at home because she can walk to. We have a relatively big house, but she can walk to any end of the house without having to carry her phone around with her, whatever. But I like the sound quality. I think the sound quality is very good. There is definite latency. We were all very disappointed that it's not even borderline. You can't game with them, period. And
even watching YouTube videos,
it's not unreasonable to ask that because we have headphones that we game with. We have wireless headphones that we know work and you can play games with, but that's neither here nor there. The sound quality is good. The battery life is awesome. They're super comfortable to me. So I don't know if maybe I have a little bit larger earlobes, but they're super comfortable. I usually use them when I'm mowing my yard. But the other day, that was when I actually noticed there's been a lot of buzz going around about them cutting out.
Yeah.
I had not noticed it till I was mowing my grass the other day. And then every single time I took a lap in my front yard, my phone was in my right front pocket. I mean, that's not a distance.
Is it stopping or is it just like a little like crackle? Like
no, it is
cut out.
It is a cut out. It's not stopping. It's just the audio cuts out. Yeah. So
man, I don't know. Like I'm almost just getting. I have had this happen. So like the other day we were talking about it and I was like, oh, I haven't had this happen yet. Mine have been great. And then I was in there wearing them as I was setting up for a shot. And I noticed it was almost just like a little bit of static interruption. Like a little like.
That's one of the other things too, is there's hissing and static buzz.
And then I noticed this morning, I'm weird as I'm talking about this. I play disc golf, I ride mountain bikes, and I meditate every morning. During my meditation this morning, I have my headphones in, and I noticed a very low frequency, almost inaudible hissing, and it was annoying enough that I had to take them out and put in my other headphones.
And so,
because there's multiple points in my practice little exercise thing that I do. It's called Waking Up. It's an app by Sam Harris. If you're interested in meditation, I highly recommend it. It's 10 minutes, and there's multiple points in that where it's just silent. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe it's on their track. So I'm going to turn it off. So I paused the music, closed the app, and it was still there.
Yeah. Joe doesn't have kids, by the way.
Yeah, my house is dead silent. And
meditate over a bowl of Fruit Loops as well.
Yeah, so that's the other complaint that is coming up is the hissing thing. I haven't heard that, but they have that pass through in them. So a lot of times you're in an area where there's enough sound that you're not going to pick up on that. You'd have to be somewhere super quiet.
It was dead silent in my house, and yeah, I heard it. I said inaudible, but it was obviously audible. It was enough for me to be like, oh, this is annoying. Yeah. And it was in my right ear mainly, which is weird.
Yeah,
I don't know. That was a bummer.
So
is that the one you hurt when you were mountain biking?
Yes.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yes.
I'm not making fun.
So here's mountain biker CP. I wrecked my mountain bike.
Here's you have my Pixel Buds thoughts. These are my AirPods that are in my pocket.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like the gaming latency is a huge turnoff for me. It's not for everybody, but it is for me. Because I don't want to carry multiple headphones around.
You just want that one.
I want a pair of headphones, and I don't need them all the time. I need them to play PUBG with. I need them for if I need to, kind of get, an article knocked out quickly and really get noise, canceled out. And, while I'm working out, if I'm on my Peloton, like that's it. I don't need earphones to do a whole lot for me. And the Pixel Buds were cutting out like crazy on the Peloton. Like it's terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like an interference.
I don't know.
Yours was on your mower, so surely there's no interference.
They were cutting out for me around the office too. And I was just like, whatever. It's early bugs, something like that. And the fact that it's gotten apparently worse, is not good. The sound is fine. I think they sound good. But if I'm going to have something plugged in my ear, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I really like, there's so many earphones that have ambient or active noise cancellation. If I'm going to plug my ear up with something, I would like it to do that. I mean, because the Pixel Buds do a decent job of, they do a better job than the AirPods do. Like the AirPods don't cut out anything. Like, so like if Gabe's over there typing on his mechanical keyboard and there's anything else going on, like my AirPods do nothing to cut any of that sound out. So it's just like they aren't great
you
for
try
that.
like little foam tips or
Yeah,
something?
none of that crap works. And I'm not going to pay $250 for AirPods Pro. I think
those
that's egregious.
Sennheisers are half off today.
Yeah, there you go.
Half off $300.
But what I found is my AirPods, my old school AirPods that have kind of been with me through all of these different wireless earphones that I've gone through, I hadn't tried in a while, and I don't even know why it was. I think they were just the only ones that were there, and I was like, I'm going to play with these. And I threw them in, and I launched PUBG, and lo and behold, there was no lag. Like they were as good latency-wise as the Razors that are basically AirPod knockoffs, and sell themselves as low latency headphones. And they're okay, but the way that they're shaped, they make my ears hurt too. For whatever reason, my ears work with AirPods really well, and I can wear them for hours on end, and they don't bother me. So other than the times where I really need to just like completely drown out everything else, like these headphones do what I need them to do. They have good battery life. They connect up quickly. They don't drop connection. They don't have any latency. And they're comfortable. Like that's all I want you to do. I don't need you to do anything else. And I'm so bummed right now with the Pixel Buds. But if the Pixel Buds
will the mics pick up like a Hey G on the
so there's none of that pass through. So like
gonna be
if the Pixel Buds fix latency and fix their connection problems, I will force, because they do hurt my ears. I didn't think they did, and then I wore them for like 2.5 hours one day. I think I was writing in here. I wore them through multiple articles, and then I had them on for something else. And man, my ears were aching like crazy. And so, like, I think though, with any headphone, because AirPods did that to me to begin with. So I think any headphone you wear enough, your ears will adapt. Most of them will.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about that. They fix the cutouts and they fix the dang latency, which they did with their original Pixel Buds. Like, fix that stuff, and I'm back on board. I'm team Pixel Bud, and I want them to succeed because they're cool looking, and the assistant is awesome. And like being able to just touch your ear,
it's so great.
It feels like you're in the future.
It's
like
so
you just
great.
go, what blah blah blah. What's the weather today?
I
sometimes do it just to do it
while I'm out doing stuff.
Listening to your messages
or
is
just
great.
the way it prompts you to reply back to messages, like all that stuff. I love all that stuff. But if you don't get the basic stuff right, you're Googling it right up. Like you're doing some cool things over here, but you're not nailing the simple basic stuff that wireless headphones need to do. So we haven't done a review on it yet.
I think
I'm kind of hoping that they fix it before I have to get on. I don't want to publish a review and say, oh, here's all the things I'm knocking against this, and then they turn around and fix it with a software update, because all of it's fixable. And so I don't know. I'm in a weird limbo state with mine. My wife's been using them a bunch. I carry my AirPods for right now. So there you go.
There you go. Let's see. Do we have any other questions on here? If not, we'll hop over to some of the submitted questions. I'm not seeing anything here. I think there's just some conversation going on here, which is cool. This is
there was one other one that and Michael kind of answered that. So do we run into issues when we're saying hey G and there's multiple devices? 100% yes.
All the time.
It's getting better. The new voice training model that they did, I get that less when one of the guys in the office or someone else, like my phone responds less. I've gotten to the point though where I turn off that on my phone if my screen's off. Like I don't want it waking up. I don't need to talk to my phone when the screen's off. Like I can pick it up and deal with it. And so I think and my Chromebooks are set to not do it because it got really annoying. So like in this office right now, I would say if we said OKG, the only thing that should go off is stuff like if the Chromebook's woken up, I think it'll still respond. I don't know. I try to turn most of my stuff off so it's not popping up, or if I forget to turn it off, I'll go just turn it off so that like the Macs over there, the Google Home Max is set to listen, and then like that's it. That's kind of the way I've gone about doing it.
The point is it
You can turn. It's turned. If
Is
it's
it
on,
turned
it's-
off?
I think we turned it
Okay,
off.
so the mic's
Yeah,
turned
the
off.
mic's off.
I haven't turned it off. We just went and got new phones. I haven't turned it off on my phone yet, but I will.
They
'cause I
were-
just remembered.
They were too cool for Pixel and went and got OnePlus.
OnePlus
phones.
8.
I upgraded from another OnePlus. Thank you.
You did, yeah.
So-
Robbie's the one who.
I've jumped over to OnePlus 8, and I've been with it for a little while now.
And it
So I
never
think I got over the hump.
Yeah, it
He's-
never crossed my mind because I think it looks super cool.
It is. It's a great phone,
My
dude.
wife and my daughter both pointed out how pink and unicorny it is.
It's
just
very
depends.
unicorny.
It depends on the day.
I was like, it's blue this
Right
way.
now, it's super
Yeah,
unicorny.
It's pretty purpley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting some blues.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's
weird.
different colors
It's
all
a
the
great
time.
phone.
But now I have a
man. It's a
complex.
great
I'm gonna have
phone.
to go trade it for a black one.
Well, I'm gonna wait
black
and
one is pretty
see.
dope
I'm
looking.
gonna wait and see when. I was gonna say when, but now I kind of want to say when and if the the Pixel 4a comes. It's gonna come. It's gonna come
I
out.
don't think there's going to be an XL though.
No,
It's gonna be a little
So
guy.
I just don't know if I can do that, man. And this phone is honestly, for how long I've had the 3XL, it's still going strong, man. It's still going strong. Like no real software bugs. Battery
No.
has
And
been
it's-
great.
It's showing you too. Like we're getting to the point where processors have gotten so
Yeah.
stinking
Yeah.
fast. Like
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
that's 2 generations old now.
Yeah.
So that's an 845.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I mean, honestly,
great
the
deal.
only reason I upgraded was because my camera had been cracked on my 7 Pro for months.
I 100% upgraded because I wanted an 865.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I wanted to play
Right.
PUBG at 90 frames
Yeah.
and it looked really
And then
awesome.
my wife said she didn't care about upgrading, but then like 3 days later, she tells me that her phone's freezing up. And then we were outside playing with the kids, and she dropped it on the deck. And I'm like, I told you we'd get a new phone if
She
you want
dropped
it.
She was like,
She's like,
"Ooh,
I don't know
broken."
why it keeps falling out of my hand.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Whoops.
So,
There was one other question there. I
Yeah.
know I just saw one other one. I was trying to get the chat pulled up here again. Where'd it go? Somebody was asking about like the Google Chromebooks, or was that on the other one there? I don't know.
I think that might be on a community question. Yeah, Sylvan.
I do like Michael's, for everybody else looking, Faith Drawn Studios, his recommendation there. If they would measure the decibels of the
Yeah.
voice, then you would, like, if 4 devices in the same room picked up, it would know, hey, he's closer to this one. Therefore,
Could you
use this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be dope.
just
Do something. 'cause
Figure out something. Do some Google magic.
Yeah, the more that we keep getting more and more and more and more and more
Yeah, they're gonna have to do
assistant
something.
integrated devices in our homes, like there needs to be a better way for it to understand that I'm close
Yeah.
to this one. I'm probably talking to this one.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Fix it,
Sylvan
fix it,
had
Google.
Yeah,
2
just magic,
questions.
fix it.
So we'll do the easy one first. Do you run with the beta and dev channels from time to time, or do you stick with the
Oh, yeah.
stable channel all the time like a normal
No.
user would do out of the box? We are not
No
normal
way.
users, and we don't do anything normal.
I think this right here is in beta right now.
Yeah, my Pixelbook
Probably.
Go
Who
is
knows?
in stable for the first time in weeks. We always have the Pro is in Canary,
Yeah.
and Robbie runs.
This is in dev right
This
now.
is in dev, but that was because of an article that Robbie had written today. Robbie leans more towards stable on his primary device, not so much because he doesn't want to live in the other channels, but he returns stuff a lot, so he's going to keep it stable.
That's not
I'm jo-
why.
I'm joking.
No, I,
But
do-
no,
I
I
like
mean-
just having things that.
Did you return the silver?
Yeah, it
Galaxy?
gone.
Yeah,
No.
it gone. He's had both Galaxy
Oh, boy.
Chromebooks in there.
Oh boy,
What?
that one didn't even last. When did that one get returned?
Oh,
you
a while
just,
ago.
you just
Just snuck that one
you
in.
just snuck it out the
Yeah.
door. Didn't
Yeah.
say anything about it.
No, full disclosure, because of COVID-19, my wife was laid off and I was still within the return window. And though I didn't have to return it, it just kind of
like,
seemed,
I
it
don't-
seemed frivolous.
I don't need this.
I don't need this right now.
$1,000
So,
Chromebook right
yeah,
now.
it's silly. We have Pixelbook Goes and
Yeah.
Flex 5s. You know,
Yeah.
We have stuff around the office that I can use. It was completely
Yeah.
frivolous. And so there's no sense.
Yeah.
There was no sense in it.
Yeah.
So just trying to be fiscally
The
responsible.
the battery stuff
has not been fixed.
has not
either.
been fixed either. So I mean, it's kind of like.
But I
Yeah,
just
and
I
there's
wanted
no
it
guarantee.
around so
Yeah.
that when it did get fixed.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Samsung has told us when that fix is rolling out, they're going to get us a review unit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So yeah, but to answer that, yeah, we usually keep devices in dev. I like to have one in Canary because that's when you find out about a new feature as soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
Plus, it's there's a lot more stuff normally with Linux going on in dev and Canary, so we like to do that because that's the only way we can stay
Yeah.
on top of what's coming. So
Yep.
And a lot of times too, we'll find stuff in the Chromium repositories, and it'll be like, "Hey, this was merged yesterday."
Yeah, so you got to
And
go
so as soon as
check
we
it.
see a Canary update, we know that it was merged. It's going to be in that
it's going to be
Canary
in there.
update.
Yeah,
So we can go
So,
Go see
like,
what it's
I
going to
saw
be
this
like.
thing.
Yeah.
See if it's on there.
yeah. So some of the other question was about the Google Chromebooks. Do you think that Google will refresh the Google Pixelbook and the Google Pixelbook Go in a few months? Do you think that Google may release a PB2 or a PB Go 2 at the end of this year?
So many comments.
Yeah.
We were actually talking about this morning.
Yeah.
I was like, it's so weird that at this point, right
There's
now in the
just, like,
year, we don't have any
there's
firm
nothing.
evidence,
Yeah.
nothing pointing to it. It doesn't mean there isn't one happening. There are
Yeah.
a crap ton of hatch-based devices
Mhm.
that we have no idea who's making. Lots of them. So very, very easy that one of those could be Google. And as I look back on the things that we found that helped us identify Eve, which is the Pixelbook, Atlas, which is the Pixelbook Go, and Nocturne, which is the Pixel Slate. When I look back, a lot of that was people leaking stuff. It
Mhm.
was just things that kind of fell into place one after another, and it's not something we can go look for again. Like it's just we're gonna have to either find it or it's just gonna kind of fall on our lap one way or another. And so, it's super difficult to nail Google down because Google engineers are involved in almost every Chromebook. So
Right.
it's not like we can go, that so-and-so's email is definitely
Because like with
it
the
doesn't work.
Pixelbook, we connected some dots and we kind of called that one, but it was really just circumstantial evidence and gut feelings.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
it just happened to work out. So it's hard to tell because, again, like a lot of these names that we see attached to the Pixelbook, they're on everything because Chrome OS is Google. So,
That being said, I don't see any reason why Google wouldn't put out a new Pixelbook device this year. I mean, there's really no reason they wouldn't. I think it could be either one. It could be a re-engineered Pixelbook 2. We've been kind of waiting for one of those. I think it's time for them to do that.
Yeah.
But they could also just rehash the Pixelbook Go in a second new iteration. It's been a fantastic device.
I don't know what the
obviously-
sales numbers are like, but I bet you they've sold a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, and that could. There's just a bunch of stuff that we've looked at and thought, well, that could be. I could see Google doing that. I could see them. We're still waiting on that first Snapdragon device, and clearly
it makes sense for them to do it. It really
like
would.
Google come out and say, hey, we're making the first one powered by with Qualcomm.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, like there's all these rumors about Google making their own silicon at some point, like that they're gonna work and get their own chipsets out for Pixel phones. There's nothing standing in the way of them then making chipsets for Chromebooks as well.
And now you've got, is it Qualcomm that's released that
With
new ARM?
ARM is released this like
it's this customizable chip
drag and drop chip building platform.
it's
Basically,
crazy.
it's not that simple, but it vastly simplifies the ability to make multi-core
Yeah.
ARM chips. So, like, hey, I want an ARM chip that has a core that does assistant stuff here, and this core does that. And they've made it much easier for smaller companies to basically do what the Qualcomms and the Samsungs and the Apples of the world are doing. And so there's a bunch of things moving. None of that stuff will make any effect probably for at least another year or two.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, I would firmly believe that Google will release at least one or two Intel or Snapdragon based Chromebooks. I think it'd be cool for Google to be the first one to do the Snapdragon one.
Yeah. Well, that kind of ties into one of
don't
these
know.
other questions that we have. Sean here was just kind of wrote a little comment here asking about the original Pixelbook. Said that they're going to be working during the stream, but they did have a question. Really liked the look of the original Pixelbook. Was intrigued by the Galaxy Chromebook, but with some of the issues there, maybe a little bit of concern there. So could it be worth my money to just buy a Pixelbook in 2020? Would you say the age of the device is too much of a concern?
It's tough.
What's the
getting
end of
tough
life on that now?
Because that device came out in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So EOL, and it's probably
processor.
23. We can look up the end of life on it real quick.
It does look great. It looks so.
And you're dealing with
so
a
nice.
Y series 7th gen chip, so we're talking 10th gen chips that we're dealing with now. It's a beautiful device. It's got a good screen, minus those honking bezels. It's got a fantastic keyboard. It's got a great trackpad.
What's it selling for?
24.
So 24. So yeah, if you buy it now,
Oh man.
If you're buying new, you're still gonna pay. It's $100 off most
so you're
places.
gonna pay $900. Like
Yeah.
it's hard for me to recommend at that price.
I would
if it was like $500 or something.
yeah.
because of
100%.
this device right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, the Flex
honestly.
breaks so much of
Yeah.
those things. You know, like
Yeah.
at $400, this thing is going to be faster than the Pixelbook. It is.
Yeah.
It's the screen's not quite as good, but it's not bad. It's not bad enough that makes you regret using it.
Yeah.
The keyboard is fantastic. The trackpad's really good. The build
Yeah.
quality is good. Does it look like the Pixelbook?
No.
No.
I think there's for somebody that's interested in design and aesthetic and that's important to them. I mean, I know you guys love the Flex, but I don't know that's
No,
the
it's
right
not
device for
Buy
them.
the Galaxy. If you
I
want
think-
the look and the
I
and
think
the
the
newest
Galaxy. I think the Galaxy is going to get you the latest, greatest. Yes, there
HP's new
are
Chromebook.
the HP's
we
coming
just
out.
talked about today. Looks
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
nice. The one that they're going to release for enterprise,
Oh, so
that thing will be out in
sexy.
August.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, if
that
you want
thing
to
looks
pay
amazing.
through the nose,
It's gonna be
but you
expensive.
want the nicest Chromebook on the market, that 1030C is going to be.
yeah, it's going to be lit.
Yeah, I
1000
mean,
nit
aside
screen.
from like it's a 1080p plus screen, so
Yeah.
its resolution will be lower than the Pixelbook. But
Yeah.
I don't know in that size or that form factor that you're going to notice it.
So to answer the question, I think the answer would be no. We do
I
not
w-
recommend buying the Pixelbook in 2020.
Yeah, unless
Yeah.
you get a killer,
killer deal.
I wouldn't do it. And
That
by
would be
killer, I wouldn't pay more than $500 for one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have at that price. I would say like if you're interested in design, aesthetic, that sort of thing, go check out one of the Galaxy
The
Chromebooks.
Samsung,
you know,
100%.
I mean,
it
the-
feels like the successor to that
The
device.
battery
like,
life, I don't know if it's a he or she. I'm sorry, but Sean, I guess Sean is normally male, right? They asked also like the new screen issues with that one. I think they've resolved most of the flicker screen issues on the.
From what I understand,
Samsung.
that was an update that happened in '83. They've issued a hot fix for it. We don't have one to test.
Yeah.
Right now, but
Yeah.
Let's go buy
So
another
like
one.
in Intel in well, I don't know if it was Intel, Samsung. We wrote about that, right? We told everybody that they're working on a fix and that they
Yeah.
told us they were going to let us know. So, I mean, for the price, you're going to pay. If you get even $100 off the Pixelbook Go, you're not going to pay that much more for the Galaxy, and you're getting the latest, greatest, and it is just pure sexy.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's amazing.
I mean, and
beautiful.
it's not
Multicolored.
as good, but the Core i3 Asus, it's
Yeah, the flip.
$800, but it's a beautiful device as well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good looking. The screen is definitely a huge step back from the Galaxy Chromebook, and I think the build quality is a pretty big step backwards too. Like, I feel like the Flex actually feels more well put together than the 436.
With
Yeah.
the Galaxy, Dennis also asked, what would you say about the pen performance? Is it the hardware or the software that makes it a disappointing experience?
On the Samsung,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I said it was disappointing.
I don't know. That's just what he asked.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't find it. I thought it was one of the best pens you could use on a Chromebook.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've articulated that somewhere else in a different way. I hope not.
I don't know that he was saying you specifically. I think he just
Oh.
said makes it a bad experience.
Yeah.
Maybe he had read that somewhere else. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't
I
know
mean,
that he was
I
saying
think
you had said that
latency issues
specifically.
you would just be on the whatever app you're using, but in
Yeah.
general,
Yeah.
On the apps that I know work well with Chrome OS and pens, it performed as well, if not better, than everything else I've used. It's an EMR pen, so
and
that's
it's
the
there
oldest.
when you need it.
Yeah.
yeah. And Samsung's been
Yeah.
doing S Pen for
Yeah.
Well, and they were the
ever,
first
so-
ones to bring a pen to Chrome OS as
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
with the Plus and the Pro. So
which in its
Um,
day worked really well. I
and
mean,
it's
for
still
what it
still the
was.
same. I mean,
Yeah.
it's EMR. It's the oldest type of stylus that is around. To me, I don't really get the whole AES thing. I don't know why we need battery powered styluses that don't have a place to live. Maybe an artist or somebody could
Oh,
correct me, but I know a lot of artists say that they'd rather have an EMR pen too. So I'm just like, they don't require a battery. They can be stowed in the device. And on Chrome OS, at least, the latency is the best of anything that we've used. Now, USI, on the other hand, so far has not been great at all.
No.
Latency
So
has been really
they've got
bad.
so
some work
he
to
said
do.
I have the Galaxy and the pen does not work consistently at all. What am I doing wrong? I would say
What apps are you using?
yeah.
Because there are
Maybe
some
it's an
apps that
app.
just are not optimized for Chrome OS, and they just don't work well.
But aside from that, maybe a power wash and
Maybe,
do some
but
settings
Keep and
stuff.
Canvas. Keep's
Yeah.
never been great.
it actually was great on the Samsung.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
Keep is
okay.
really good.
Which
Chrome
version of
Canvas.
Keep are you using? Because there's
Yeah,
the Android app. You can do
Android,
the
the
web
Chrome
app,
one.
Chrome.
The Chrome version of Keep should be pretty good. Chrome Canvas should be really good.
Yeah,
and
that's
if you're
weird.
having issues like severe latency or something, I would consider taking it back or contacting Samsung. 'cause
Yeah, let them know because
we had 2 of them. In the
we have it
office,
on video.
that-
We have it on video. It's
Oh, yeah,
it's very good.
the latency is really, really good on the pen. There shouldn't be any problem there.
Yeah,
from
that's
everything we've
that's
been able to
odd.
tell.
Hopefully, you can get
How
that
do you make sure
figured
you
out.
have the Chrome version of Keep? Just go to keep.google.com and then
It
well,
actually
you
still
can actually go to the web store.
Yeah, go to
can't
the
you?
Chrome web store and you'll search for Google Keep, and you'll see because it actually installs itself as an extension out of the box. So if you didn't install anything, the version of Keep that's on your Chromebook is the Chrome OS version, and it should have basically no latency. Now the pressure sensitivity on Keep, that's on Keep. It never has worked with pressure sensitivity.
It's not.
It just when you move the pen faster, it gets a thicker line. It's dumb.
So if you write fast,
Right, then you're gonna have thick pen strokes.
it doesn't make
it's
any
really
sense.
strange.
Right.
The other app that I would highly recommend trying that has always been fantastic. It's always the best pen input any device or of any application I've used is Squid.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it used to be called.
Michael. Put
Oh,
in
it was
Squid Notes.
Papyrus.
Yeah, Papyrus is
and
what it
it's
used to be.
if you haven't claimed it, it's a freebie on the Chromebook Perks right now. But
Like
even
like
the
a
free
year
version is
the free version will give you enough.
It's great.
You can jot a couple things, and you should see no latency. Almost every other than the USI stylus Chromebooks, I've had issues even in Squid with those. But that app usually does perfectly well with just about any device with a stylus that we've tested.
right.
So yeah, I would highly recommend trying Squid. If you install Squid, I did remember, and I've seen this on other Chromebooks too, sometimes turning them in portrait mode for a time. Like after it rotated, you'd start to write and it would be all weird, and then it would be fine after that. I think in Keep it does that.
With the Slate, it's like that.
When you go into portrait mode.
Mhm.
I think that's some sort of Chrome OS bug, my guess. So again, stay in landscape at first, and if you're testing to see if it's a hardware issue, open up Squid, test that pen in landscape mode.
Yeah.
If it works okay in there, then we're probably running into some other issues. And truth be told, I mean, pen input on Chromebooks, I still think it's like a second-class citizen.
Absolutely.
We've got EMR stylus, we got AES stylus, you got Google's version of AES stylus, and then you've got, because HP's AES stylus that works on the X2 doesn't work on a Pixelbook, and vice versa.
Right.
So it's a separate version of AES.
And
then now you've got USI stylus,
that's
just
the
doesn't
problem
seem
with
to be
USI is that
consistent.
USI is still an emerging thing because it's not a specific tech. It's a group of
Initiative.
protocols that it should just work on every device. And Chrome OS has kind of been the tech, because when it first happened, we're like, oh, Chrome OS is getting USI, but that's because Chrome OS was willing to adopt this.
Right.
Windows
Nobody else
devices
wants to
aren't
mess with it.
adopting USI as
Nope.
quickly.
Apple won't.
Dennis, let's get his other question, because he had submitted one in the community too. He had asked about, why do we not have Google Assistant on G Suite? And someone else answered, and they're probably absolutely. Oh, Matthew answered. Security is probably the biggest reason, because the assistant can, if you allow it, access things on your
Other
screen, related
information,
content. Obviously, it's transferring voice model data to and from Google, whatever. And for an enterprise, that's probably going to be a big no-no. For us, it wouldn't be a big deal because all we're talking about is coffee and PUBG. But for big enterprises that deal with a lot of sensitive data, that could be an issue. So,
there's been some other issues too that we've discovered. What's been some other stuff as like we set up different things on the managed devices? I feel like there's been like a couple random things if I'm logged into my Joe at Chrome Unboxed.
Joe had
all the random apps showed up.
Joe had like Clash of Clans or something installed on his device. We couldn't get it off. We don't know where it came from.
We ended up finding it way deep down in the settings.
Oh man,
yeah, that's the admin for you people who are IT administrators and manage the Google admin console.
It's
God
insane.
bless you, because it is so convoluted and impossible. Like I was trying to look at this new, what were we looking at? It's replacing Google Plus, Currents.
Yeah.
It's in beta, and according to the support article, it's right there in the admin console, and it's supposed to be enabled for all users. And I went to look for it, and the only thing I could find was Google Plus, and Google Plus is dying. I can't find anything. We enrolled
What's-
devices one time, and I accidentally enrolled our phones because of the verbiage.
Yeah.
Was in there. I
the
thought I was
settings are
enrolling a
insane.
Chromebook, and next thing I know, we're all getting notifications on our phones.
Yeah, and what's funny
they
though
change
is
and add stuff, and it's
most
hard to
IT
keep up.
people would tell you though this is so much easier than what they have to deal
Right.
with normally. So I can't
Which is-
imagine
yeah.
what some of that other crap looks like.
But like
It's-
all that to say, like there's some security issues. There's some weird stuff that Google has obviously kind of drawn the line on with G Suite and Assistant and other things like there. I know there's been times whenever we're trying to install something and it won't work or whatever because I'm trying to do it because I log in again. This is that whole like switching user thing. I log in like right now. I'm logged in on the Slate as Joe at Chrome Unboxed. I log in with that account. So the install that I'm running right there is managed by a G Suite. So there's some weird stuff. I think it's probably all boils down to security and making sure that there aren't vulnerabilities, whatever. So,
and I don't know that once you contain all of those vulnerabilities, is the assistant even going to be worth attempting to use at that point?
Yeah,
Once you
exactly.
basically cut all the ties to everything.
Yeah. Phil here from a new subscriber from Northern Alberta. Hey, welcome, Phil.
Nice.
Any other quick questions there? If not, I think we'll wrap this thing up, and we're going to try to do these more frequently as we become better at this. We'll have a better system for reading the comments and whatnot, so Robbie doesn't have to reach up and scroll through for us. What's that last question there? Is there a
European availability for Google Chromebooks?
Ooh.
No one knows. I
Yeah.
mean, at this point, where it's conjecture when we'll see another Google Chromebook. Chromebooks in general have expanded quite a bit in various markets. Lenovo, especially, a lot of their new devices they are pushing into like hundreds of markets. Google does not produce on the scale that these large manufacturers do.
Not even close.
I don't know if it's licensing, if it's what the reason is behind it. I don't know. I have no idea if we'll see it anywhere outside of the UK.
We don't have any information.
And honestly, until Google ramps up production, and again, as Chromebook adoption keeps growing, it might get to the point where, hey, we've got a device that is a lot of people are going to buy, but they're going to have to decide that they're going to put out a Chromebook that's going to compete price wise, and they just haven't done that yet.
Yeah,
I mean, at $650, we all felt that the Pixelbook Go was a good deal, for the quality of hardware you're getting, but $650 and never going on sale is not going to be the type of Chromebook that's going to sell in mass volume. So until they get to the point where they're selling in mass volume, I don't foresee them expanding markets anytime soon. So I wouldn't hold my breath on waiting for Google to get on board with that.
And Matthew, Australia, that we actually learned that from Peter Moriarty. We spoke with him a few times, and he told us, I mean, we've seen the prices down there in Australia and the limited availability. But from what I understand, the Duet will be coming to Australia.
Yeah.
There's a listing for it on Amazon.
No, but the Duet is officially going to be an Australian launch. So I'm not sure.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, not sure when. What's that?
So the next
a lot of ads and commercials in Germany. I mean, again, it's all scale.
Nice.
It's all scale. It's
production.
Google is still a baby when it comes to hardware.
Yeah.
I mean,
they are a software company.
Right. And we think, they have all this money, so they should just be good at doing this thing. And the truth is they started a hardware branch, and that branch is growing just like any other hardware branch would grow. They obviously have some help along the way, but they've got to grow into that space just like anybody else would. So maybe in a few years, not sure yet.
Yeah, so we got another question here, and that's what I was kind of getting into as I was wrapping up here, just asking about doing more live shows on a regular basis. That's definitely something that we want to do. As the YouTube community has grown, obviously, that gives us some more resources to put towards this and to do some different things. And so as we kind of figure out what this is going to look like, I like doing this setup. I like having better audio. This will be a video that you all can go watch back for anybody that can't join live. And so I think this is definitely something that we want to do. This could be a format that we use for the podcast every week if we get to that point. That might be something that we just make available to our members. But I love doing these Q&As. I think these are really fun.
For sure.
And it's cool. Like, I love this kind of chat that you all have going here. I mean, this is a community of real true Chrome OS and Google nerds here. So it's cool that we can get together and have this kind of little chat here. I know you can do that just in the community forum, but it's cool to do it here, and we can answer some questions and kind of go back and forth. So yeah, it's definitely something we want to do more often. I'm not gonna put ourselves on a schedule just yet. But
we put ourselves on the hook for the podcast. So
yeah. Hey, but
we love doing the podcast.
64 episodes in now.
But it's
awesome.
working. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know yet. Maybe a once a month type thing, or
we'll announce it here once we kind of
we'll figure out
on what we did here.
I
And
just got an email from Google that says, Gabriel, tell us about your Google Pixel Buds. Hey, Google, listen, watch, subscribe, and watch this video.
Yeah, go become a member. So hopefully you guys like this. Hopefully this was fun. We had a good time. I had a good time. Maybe we can get some more people into this as they see us doing this more often. Would be awesome to get some more people in here, have more people join, more people submit questions, and we just want to be a resource for you guys. We don't we don't have all of the time in the world to answer every single question that we can that gets sent to us, but we want to take care of our members. So we thought this is a cool way that we can answer your questions and dedicate some time to you guys. We answer as many emails as we can, but my gosh, there's no way that we could possibly answer every single one of them. Yeah, I mean, so it's just, we want to take care of you guys and answer as many questions for you guys as we can. So, hope you all enjoyed this.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
We'll check back when we have more information about when we'll do this more.
Yeah.
How more vague can I be?
Yeah. Well, part of it too is, we don't want to put ourselves on a hook, because we're at least the type of people that, if we say we're going to do something, we're going to do it. So
and we want to make
sure
it's feasible.
We'll do it every week. Absolutely.
And be like, oh my God, what have we done?
Why did we do this?
Yeah. So, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it and figure out what the setup would look like.
Maybe we just get some good cameras and just mount them in here, and you guys can just like click on and watch anytime you want.
No
it
way.
would probably
That'd be entertaining.
It would be very boring. These guys just sit at their computers for like
you'd hear us
most of the
yelling
day.
on our lunch breaks while we're playing PUBG.
Oh, get down. And then they make lunch. They make the same lunch every day.
False.
That's not true.
We had carnitas today,
Okay.
and we have Jimmy John's on Friday.
Yep.
Okay. So we have 3 different.
There's about 3. We cycle through.
We
One
may-
of them we have most days.
We mainly
Wait,
mainly have we mainly have the same lunch basically every day. So yeah, it would be kind of boring to watch us normally. But yeah, we'll do more of this stuff. So
Anyway, we've put everybody to sleep now.
yeah. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining in. We'll keep you guys updated on when we decide to do this more. All right. You all are awesome. See you.
ya.
Thanks. Bye.